Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us on Joynews Prime. Tonight, in the headlines, aggrieved MENZGOLD customers arrested Wednesday for besieging the home of Nana Appiah Mensah, known to many of us as Nam1, to demand locked-up funds. Well, also, they've been charged with unlawful entry and breach of Public Order Act.
Annoying. Only one person you people are protecting, and so many people are dying in their bedrooms. What is it? It's now one being made by gold, and some of us have been made by the sun. Me, some of us were ready. They can use our blood to rewrite the history. That one person have duped the whole nation, and they are protecting him.
Farmers at Kajelo in the Kasina Nankana West District of the Upper West region forced to abandon their gardens as dams gradually dry up.
The water is almost finished. You see how the pepper is. Now that I'm to get something for it bigger. You see how it is. I was even to leave because I think if I even water it today, it's not.
In tourism, you may not know it, but we have a fort built in 1656. It's called Fort Battenstein. Now we'll take you to the town of Butre in the western region, which records low patronage, and this is due to the poor roads leading to the area.
This is actually my first time here. So we got the where they said bridge. Hey, my friend, it wasn't easy. I even had my messes.
And of course, we have business. Sandra.
Drop in food prices led to marginal reduction in November inflation rate to 7.9% from last November's figure of 8.2%. We'll be assessing the trends later in business.
Year inflation rate for December 2019 is 7.9. To put this figure in a context, we want to recall that the year-on-year.
My name is Roland Walker, and Joynews Prime comes to you live from our studios here at Kohumlemle, right here in the capital of Accra, with digital address GA0992539. Meanwhile, you can also watch us live on DSTV through the channel 421 and through the GoTV channel 144. We'll bring you an enlightening news for the next 2 hours. Stay tuned. We were there, we covered it live. What began as a peaceful march to the home of the CEO of gold dealership MENZGOLD by aggrieved customers of the defunct firm to demand payment of lockup funds turned sour. The customers rather ended up behind bars as the police arrested and charged them for breaching the Public Order Act and also unlawful entry. The group has been demanding payment of their funds for almost 2 years. Komla Adom reports it was a dramatic charged atmosphere at his Trazako home of the owner, Nana Appiah Mensah, as the customers made another push to get their monies paid them.
With their bags, valises and any receptacle they could carry, the customers marched to the Trazako home of a CEO of a company, Nana Appiah Mensah, to demand immediate payment of their locked-up investment funds. A temporary resistance at the entrance of a gated estate by private security officials would not get the agitated customers to back down. One of the leaders of the group, Francis Owusu, rallied his people to remain focused and stay the course.
Our money, our blood! Our money, our blood! Our money, our blood! We want the media, yes, and the good people of Ghana to know that Nana Appiah Mensah, one way or the other, want to defraud us. Yes, and we will not allow that. Yes. We will resist with the last drop of our blood. Exactly. Because this money is our hard-earned what? Money. Yes. It is through our sweat. Yes. Our money, our blood. Oh boy. Yes. Oh boy. Yes. Fellow customers, we are not here to fight with anybody. Yes. We are not here to cause any commotion or destroy any properties. Yes. We are only here to visit Nana Appiah Mensah and demand for our investment.
The emotional outbursts by these customers mirrored the state of affairs.
I'm from Kumasi. Because my money locked at what MENZGOLD 2 years now. That's why I was here to collect our money. Nana Appiah Mensah was saying, say, you pay our money for us. But now no one can get any money.
It's annoying. Only one person you people are protecting, and so many people are dying in their bedrooms. What is it? It's now one being made by gold, and some of us have been made by the sun. What are they trying to tell us?
I'm sorry about everything that's happening, but how much of your money was invested here?
Sometimes I do not want to disclose my money on the air because when I mention it, my heart, it's annoying, my brother. Okay. Today, me, some of us, we are ready. They can use our blood to rewrite the history. That one person have duped the whole nation, and they are protecting him. They are protecting him. We are sick and tired. People are dying in their rooms. Because of it, people are dying in their rooms. And this Akufo-Addo you have not seen. It's number one so special. Because all of you are benefiting from our money. Give us our coins and we'll be at peace.
Me to me maguya so me come up ready we and I got system why dey Akufo-Addo ju ani ba ka money e mo bo what na Akufo-Addo ye wa kwasa yensa ama ya nwisi ani nyanka ya asemo ya ye mo bo nkran anu ye ni kama fuo biara o obi di uka na beju sikeja ye ba ye dire ba bi di yasa na mo na tututu.
She says she traveled out of the country to go and then you know hustle and make some money, and she came back and invested all that money into the gold dealership firm.
And yes, I me this Ghana kotu o manya bosumi mienu mpe aka na na ma bosumi ba kwa be so no mete wa na mete omo hu nsem be de me ko honom yesi agugu company no me this Ghana kotu o kapre kra manya bi mete ya mi wo emoja nko na etumi emoja nko na enyumia ena de mi po bi aka me wona na wona gumi prego ena de eja mi nko ba bia.
So she said since she made the investment, she's not even received an installment of the dividends that should have accrued on the funds, and so she has come here to demand her money. Businessmen, sacked workers, public sector workers, entrepreneurs, students, and many others have been affected. Within a 15-minute blaze, gunshots, a horde of well-built men riding in on motorbikes, and police reinforcements took over the premises. A police operation led by Accra Region Director of Operations, ACP Kwesifori, saw nearly all the customers arrested and driven to the Accra Region office. To ACP Kwesifori, the customers had breached the Public Order Act in the manner they stormed the CEO's home. The customers...
Police have not been informed, and looking at this very environment, Trasacco, it is an estate meant for several people, and for this group of persons to invade the premises, assaulting the security details of the estate, and having forcefully entering the place to carry out such an illegal exercise definitely has something to do with the police. So we are here to maintain police authority and to allow rule of law and police primacy to prevail. That is our mission and mandate.
Okay. And the people who have been picked up, where are they going? Where are you taking them to?
As I said, violation of the law definitely calls for arrest. They've been arrested, and we are sending them to the regional police headquarters for investigation to commence.
The customers whose aim was to return home tonight or sometime later with their cash in their bags ended up behind bars. Their visit to Nana Appiah Mensah's home did not yield them the expected results, but they say they will live to fight another day for their toil and sweat.
And logically, we would want to get some responses from the police. And so we have the Accra Region Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Fiatinge, joining us on the line. Now, good evening, Madam. What's happened to the customers so far? What's the latest update?
Yes, good evening. Yes, this afternoon, about 90 of them were picked up by the police. All of them have been cautioned, and also statements have been taken from them. They have been charged individually with a conspiracy to commit crime, to waive lawful entry, and also they have also been charged with the violation of the Public Order Act and offensive conduct. Just about 30 minutes ago, the regional commander directed that they are granted bail for them to be arraigned for court. And so each of them was supposed to produce a surety for them to be bailed. But after a second consideration of that directive, and also their inability for them to produce the sureties because of the distance some of them were coming from and all that, the regional commander again has directed that the chairman, the vice, and 2 others also stand in surety for all of them. But before even then, 9 had already even produced their surety. So this is the update so far.
And you're doing that in accordance with the Public Order Act?
Exactly so.
Now, going forward, what does it mean, caution? What really do you mean by a caution? What's in that caution?
Yes, if you are arrested, and that if the police wants to process you for court, first of all, you need to be cautioned. You need to be told the offense for which you are being arrested, and also statements taken from you, and you are properly charged. So that is why I mentioned the provisional charges that we have referred against all of them, and that what we hope is that at the appropriate time, these persons that have already been cautioned are taken to court. So caution is a legal term that is used to properly tell the individual that this is the reason for which you are being arrested and that this is the offense. And so you give us your statement of, or let's say a response to what the police is cautioning you for.
So it means that you've bailed them subsequently?
Sorry?
They've been given bail?
Yes, they have been given bail. But as I said, they were still in the process of being given the bail because most of them, because of the distance of which we're coming with, they were not meeting the bail conditions. That was a surety each. And so the vice and also the chairman, that these customers stood in for them to be granted the bail.
If they had informed the police of their convergence or this picketing or in front of the residents of NAM1, Nana Appiah Mensah, what would have been the most appropriate way that the police would have handled them?
Yes, as ACP Kwesi said, the country is governed by law, and therefore my private residence is my private property, and I said I have right to my privacy. If you want to embark on a demonstration or a persecution or any public order event, the law requires that you give police clear notification of this demonstration or whatever public event that it is. And so the police will give you the necessary protection for that event to take place. But if you do not do any of this and you unlawfully assemble yourself and conspire and plan that, yes, this is what we're going to do, of course, it is a breach of our laws. And that is why we have said that a violation, a gross violation of the Public Order Act, for which they have been arrested for that breach. And so, going through the process, I am not sure, probably they will be sent to that residence because it is not only one who lives there. There are other residents who live there. And that kind of noise also was a breach on their individual privacy as well. So I don't think we would have considered that option. But probably there are other ways that the police could have advised them on.
For those who are not able to get bail, what happens to them?
That is why I'm saying that for a careful consideration, after a careful consideration, and for the fact that others live far away, although we're coming from a distance, that is why I'm saying that the regional commander considered that because of where we're coming from, the chairman and also the vice and 2 others stood in for them to be granted the bail. So it means that all of them will be granted bail.
Subsequently. And if they want to again converge at the premises or the residence within the Trasacco Valley, that will not be granted by the police? Even if
I doubt. I doubt, because as I'm saying, it's a gated community. And these people went there, they forcibly entered the premises. That is, they even assaulted the security man. I even saw the security man this morning when I personally went there. And they had their way into the gated community. And there were attempts to even enter the private residence of the person they were looking for. That's the CEO of MENZGOLD.
Okay.
And he thought that that was a gross breach, and you could not do that.
Okay.
It's, as I have already explained, if you want to embark on any event, a public order event, there are processes, there are procedures, and let us follow it. Once our nation is governed by law, which of course even yesterday we celebrated a whole constitutional day, it means that we are not living anyhow. We are governed by the dictates of law. And I know they know, but because they had in mind that you're going to do that, that is why they embarked on that. And the police will not countenance on the act of some of these unlawful behaviors. We share in their pain. We are concerned. And as I even know, I know that even the case is already before court. So why can't we continue to exercise that patience? Doing this is the whole running down of the judicial processes to me, I think. And I don't think that we have to continue to tolerate that.
Okay. The next one. Are you saying that because it's a gated community, they can apply to pickets?
That is why I'm saying that if you want to embark on any demonstration, if you notify the police, the Public Order Act asks or tells the police to consider all these things. We consider that if the people are embarking on that demonstration, whether it's going to cause a breach of peace, whether it's not going to affect defense, and all these things are considered, it's not going to endanger lives and what have you. If they are able to satisfy that the demonstration is peaceful, and the police also consider that it does not pose any kind of threat to any group of people, then the police may also consider and give them the protection. But after a review of all this, if we see that it's going to pose some kind of discomfort threat to other people, that is why in the past we have had back and forth on some demonstrations and routes that people want to use. MENZGOLD is not the first time. They have embarked on legal demonstrations. And I remember we were all part of the demonstration. They went through the streets of Accra, and we even gave them the necessary protection. So what has changed? We are saying that let us follow due process of the law, and let's make sure that we get our concerns well addressed.
Now, are you saying that if aggrieved people have a case in court, of course, the case is ongoing, they can also picket?
That is why I'm saying that if they want to picket, do you do it the unlawful way? No, of course no, Roland. If you have to picket, what does the law say? Do I just get up and picket? No. Let me go to the law. Let me seek some advice from the law. Let the law direct me as to what to do. Otherwise, we woke up one day and everybody does whatever they want to do. And that is what the police is seriously against. Let us make sure we do the right thing.
Yeah. Okay. My last question. If you do an assessment, and we've watched the video variedly, and also the report put together by our own Komladum, the actions of the picketers or the aggrieved customers, was it unruly?
What we know is that these people, in the morning, they gathered at a gate. And the place is such that you can only go there on invitation or when you have been allowed access. And because they intended on going to the place, they forced themselves by forcibly entering and also pushing and even in the process assaulting the Eastman. They were only blocked by the wall of the one wall and that particular residence. Otherwise, nobody knew what they have done. And they were bent. And it wasn't just a minute, they have been there, they were there. And so the police will not sit down for that to continue. And these areas that we're talking about do not only house number one. There are a lot of people also living there. So these people kept on. We have to intervene. Tomorrow it can be you, tomorrow it can be multimedia, it can be anybody, and the police need to move in. So police are done what is rightly mandated of us.
Yeah, you did a good job. Does it mean that alongside the other occupants of the gated Trasacco Valley, it's likely the next time after they've gotten the bill, they apply lawfully, you may not grant that permission for them to picket there?
Roland, I cannot say. When we get there, we shall come.
Right. Thank you very much. DSP Efiatenge is the Public Relations Officer for the Accra Region Police. But let's take you up north. Some farmers at Kajalo in the Katsina-Nankana West District of the Upper East Region have decided to abandon their farms because small earth dam constructed under the One Village, One Dam initiative to aid them practice all-year farming seem to be drying up. They have abandoned their vegetables in the farms under the scorching sun just because water in the dam seem to be running out and ultimately will not last them for the whole harvesting period, which is what is left for them to produce. Also at Dachio community in the Bolgatanga East District, the residents have so far decided to leave the water in the dam only for their livestock to consume because the dam is fast drying up. We'll bring you a comprehensive report by our own regional correspondent, Albert Sorry and Joshua Sa of A1 Radio, Joy FM's affiliate station in the Upper East Regional Capital.
At the beginning of the last rainy season, the embankment to this dam collapsed under the pressure of water. The residents of Kajalo attributed it to the shoddy work done by the contractor. The embankment was subsequently repaired and the dam stored some water during the rainy season. Today, we return to Kajalo here in the Katsina-Nankana West District to see how the residents are making use of the dam constructed under the One Village, One Dam initiative. We meet a sizable crowd, mostly children fishing in the dam. But except for a few fingerlings, there is virtually no catch for these children. Some of the community members have molded these bricks using water from the dam. The dam is gradually drying up, but these two generators are pumping water from it to some gardens nearby. Around the dam, we see at least 5 gardens of average size, 50 by 75 meters. Very long hoses stretch from the dam to these gardens, obviously carrying the water pumped by the generators. Yusuf Anipuna owns one of the gardens.
We use it the rain for September, up to September, before we use the dam, up to a date. For the dam, when we use the dam, we harvested, we have harvested about 3 times. And I've gotten a lot of bags.
How many bags have you had in total?
For the first time, I've gotten 3 bags. Second, 3 bags. For now, I'm able to harvest 4 bags. For the first time, when I've harvested, I've sold it. One bowl is for 8 Ghana cedis. And also always 3 bowls that always fill this bag. So for 3 bowls, it will be 240 Ghana cedis.
Another farmer, Douglas Akotua, has a similar success story.
That's September that we start using the dump till now. It's 3 times that we harvest, and I get a lot of money because of the garden. I use the money, build my room, and I use it to buy the motorbike so that I know that the motorbike can help me.
But just as these farmers are now bracing themselves to cash in some more on their gardens, they are confronted with a dilemma. The water in the dam is fast running out, so they have to either abandon the gardens and leave the remaining water for the consumption of their livestock, or they use the water for the gardens and their livestock. will die of thirst.
Because the water is not enough. We just use 1 day in a week. So that's why it reached this time. So we are managing the water. Because of that, the water is still there. And today yesterday that, we finished the water. So we don't have enough of water. So we have to leave the gardens there. Yeah.
Because the water is almost finished. So 1 week, when I even watered today, I will not be able to water again. So I'm always disappointed. You see how the pepper is. Now that I'm to get something for it bigger. You see how it is. I was even to leave because I think if I even water it today, it's nothing. Yes, I'll get nothing for it, but I will try and see. That's how it is.
Close to Yusuf's garden, one farmer has already given up, abandoned his garden under the harsh Harmattan weather, and it is a big feast for the sheep. Assemblyman for Kajelo, Hilary Aniako, believes the dam has served a good purpose, but says more people could benefit if government were to expand the dam.
I believe that about 500 people will benefit from this particular dam if government comes to increase or expand this particular dam. Because the chain is there. If you benefit, another person will benefit indirectly. And there is joy in the town. There is joy in Kajulu.
So the call from the residents of Kajelo is for government to consider expanding this dam so that this coming rainy season it is able to store enough water to last them throughout the next dry season. The situation, however, at the Dachio community is completely different. So this is the One Village, One Dam project here in the Dachio community. And this is also the dam famously described by the chief as a football park the last time we spoke to him. And his reason was that this dam was too flat and could not contain much water. The residents here at Dachio decided not to attempt making any dry season gardens with the water from this dam because they knew right from the time the dam was constructed last year that it was too shallow.
We haven't done anything with it. It's only our animals that have been drinking from it. Because looking at the water, we are even afraid of using it for a dry season farming. Or you don't know when the water will dry up. So if you are to use it for a dry season farming, in the middle of it and the water dry up, what are you going to do?
I think this dam will dry up by the end of January. So how do we even use it to water gardens? We don't even use it to reconstruct our mud buildings. We would have loved to make the gardens, even if they are small ones. We may not get money from them, but at least our wives could get vegetables to cook at home. Here is the case. The water may not even be enough for our livestock to drink. So, how do we attempt making gardens? For now, lots of livestock here in Dachio come to this dam to drink. So the Harmattan is getting very serious and it is getting drier and drier by the day. And many people think that these dams are not going to last through the dry season where they are expected to be serving the purpose of helping people do dry season gardening. So we will go around and speak to communities in the various areas where these dams have been constructed to see if they are serving the purpose for which government constructed them. My name is Albert Sorry, reporting for Joynews.
So watching Joynews Prime. Now still to come, Fort Battenstein was built in 1656. We'll take you to the town of Butre in the Western region, which records low patronage due to poor roads and also the bridge leading to the community.
It's actually my first time here. So we got the where they said bridge. Hey, my friend, it wasn't easy. I even had my mazes.
Ashanti region, residents living along the Atonsu Lake Road stretch live in danger of extreme dust pollution as construction work stalls.
Community no uko DC ni office ade bia ye tua tax eguye stores.
Well, we have all these, including business and the latest on the international front, because we've had a comprehensive address by the President of the United States, Donald Trump. All these coming up. You stay with us. Let's bring you more stories. And the year of return increased tourism across the country. But the town of Butre in the Western region, which has many breathtaking sights, received low patronage. And this is because of the poor nature of the road leading to the community and dangerous bridge linking it. Some tourists told Joynews Henry Kwesibedu that the nature of the bridge sent shivers down their spines. There's more in the following report.
A bird's eye view of Butre, a coastal community in Western region. What you see are ruins of Fort Battenstein, built in 1656. From up here, it's a breathtaking view of the coast, lagoon, large vegetation and hills. Visitors enjoy a canoe ride through a mangrove to see wildlife species like alligators and crocodiles. But access to these tourist sites are impeded by a dilapidated footbridge that links the community. The almost 80 meters wooden bridge, which was constructed 10 years ago, now looks weak and dangerous. Tourists say, although it is adventurous to walk on the bridge, they are scared using it.
Well, we came across the bridge at about midnight last night, and it was precarious to say the least. But I think it's almost worse during the day because you can actually see how fragile it is, and unfortunately it's so necessary to connect these two pieces of land that to have a bridge in this type of condition is rather unfortunate. I was more scared actually using it in daylight than I was using it during the dark. Wow. Because you can actually see, you know, the fragility and how wobbly it is. And
this is actually my first time here. So we got the where they said bridge. Hey, my friend, it wasn't easy. I even had my mazes. Meanwhile, it wasn't my time. My time is not due, but I had to because it was so scary.
Many other communities are cut off when the bridge collapses occasionally. According to residents, when the bridge collapsed in November last year, it claimed the life of a 7-year-old boy. Residents, including children, are scared to use the bridge, but have no option as it is the only route to other communities and their beaches. Elizabeth is a Class 6 pupil here.
We are frightened anytime we use the bridge. My colleague lost his life last year and we want government to fix the bridge for us.
According to elders of Butre community, the bridge has claimed 4 lives, injuring dozens in the span of 3 years. Kwesi Apetem speaks for the community.
Oh, at least 4.
About 4 people have lost their lives and several others sustained various forms of injuries.
Peter is a tour guide and says the state of the bridge is affecting revenue.
The tourists came, the school people, they came, they say, because of the bridge, they are afraid, and they turn back. Right now, the business is spoiled. 2018, one day I can go canoe trip more than 20 times. By 2019, you can go to canoe trip 2 times a day.
Tourist sites in the area are now paying the hard price as they could not cash in on the year of return due to bad nature of roads and the bridge. Francis and George are managers of 2 of the resorts along the coastal community.
Normally right now, even they give the bridge a name like a dancing bridge, because if you're working on the bridge, you see the bridge is shaking, so they call it a dancing bridge. So it affects the community, and people are scared because of that. They cannot come. For the year return, I would say one factor is also the major road, the access to these communities, that even those that the return people, that they can come down here. The road is not good. Already the road is not good.
The 2019 results, or the outcome of our end of year, as a result of our end of year report, we noticed that it wasn't really encouraging. And it's a result of so many factors which we have been dealing with, and it's not getting any better. And if we continue to be worse like this, I think it's not going to augur well for the progress of the hotels around the area, and in Ghana at large.
Residents here are appealing to government to fix the dangerous bridge.
Anytime the bridge collapses, communities like Awuna Krom, Asamko, and Butre are all cut off. Students are also left stranded. We are appealing to government and philanthropic organizations to fix the bridge with immediate effect.
Ghana is definitely a great destination for vacations, but roads linking tourism sites are deplorable.
This is actually my first time
roads
here.
linking tourism sites to boost tourism in the country. Henry Kwesibedu's report for Joynews.
We'll take you to the Ashanti region, where residents living along the Atonsu Lake Road stretch live in danger of extreme dust pollution as construction work stalls. The Harmattan season has also worsened their plight, forcing commuters to wear masks and hoods just to travel. Many businesses now operate in distress as fine powdery dust covers towns like Atonsu, Feyase, and many others. Well, we have Lava Firms Erastus Asaridonko, who took a trip to assess the situation along the stretch.
The dualization of the Lake Road from Ahinsan Brewery to Kontenase Bosomtwe started early last year. It is expected to take away the huge vehicular traffic experienced on the stretch daily. Awarded to Kofi Job Construction, work has stalled.
The people are living in misery. Misery of fine powdery dust poured on their faces every single day and every hour. All the commuters on this road from Aputuoja to Atonsu Agogo live in distress on a daily basis.
Plans to minimize the effect of construction work on residents have not been consistent. Red, fine, powdery dust fills the air, rooftops, homes, schools, businesses. The intensity of the dust pollution is seen and felt along the Atonsu-Aputoja stretch, forcing commuters to alter their way of dressing. A simple trotro ride from Aputoja demands that passengers put on different body, face, and nose coverings to escape the deep penetration of dust in the roughly 30-minute journey. This man is seen cashing in on the problem. He sells nose masks at Espresso by this highly polluted, dusty route.
50 pesos put through mask. It's very terrible, as you all can see. So selling the mask, we don't sell it only to those who are traveling, we sell to everybody. Yes, everybody is involved. So we make sure that, and we have also decreased the price so that everybody can afford some.
So how much is it?
A pieces go for 50 pesos and the pack is 5 Ghana cedis.
A good stores, senior, a good stores. A full turn into Yentimi, Yen tax, Emma community, no. Uko DC in the office, there be a tax. A good stores. Check me plumbing materials. Go and see the room.
I just don't understand why the contractor is behaving this way. Look, right from beyond the Putuja, I've been coming from that end to fire service station. He seems not to care about the people living here. And I shudder to say, if he really cares about our health, look, those living alongside the road, dare not complain. The guy should even be watering the road, even if he's not constructing, if he's not continuing with the job. At least he should consider that people, human beings, are living alongside the road.
The people who live on this route are exposed to a number of respiratory ailments. Dr. Srebo is a medical doctor and he plies this route daily.
The biggest challenge we have on this road is dust inhalation. And what you are afraid of is especially people with chronic lung diseases such as asthma and those with heart diseases. They are at a higher risk. If you have asthma, what it means is that you are likely to have exacerbation of the asthma. The frequency of the attacks will be more. The likelihood that it will be worse is also very high. And if you are not lucky, it can kill you. For people with heart problems, their heart problems will get worse. And if you are even a smoker on this road, then that means you are even in higher risk of developing even chronic lung disease as well. And for those of us who are inhaling it, who are saying we are normal, it's likely that we'll be having issues like coughing almost every now and then. You have cold, and so it means that your nose will be running. And I believe that, in fact, it's almost becoming like an everyday occurrence for me myself.
Let's focus on education. And government says it will release some 4 million Ghana cedis in 2 weeks to complete a lecture hall at the College of Arts and Sciences at the University of Ghana, which has been abandoned since the 1970s. The Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yanka, during a tour of the structure abandoned from the 1970s, said government is committed to funding the completion of these projects. He promised they will be made ready before the close of the year. There's more in the following report.
Government recently released money for the resumption of work on some of the legacy projects, including the one at the University of Ghana. Some of the projects have now reached first and second phases of completion and will soon be ready to accommodate science students at the institution. They are the College of Arts and Sciences, School of Physical and Mathematical Science, School of Earth Sciences, and the School of Allied Health Sciences. Some of these ongoing projects, according to the Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yanka, are 70% complete and will soon be commissioned.
Projects that have been inherited over the period, and I think the biggest and the most dramatic story is that of the Faculty of Arts, which has been in progress for nearly half a century, nearly 50 years. And that was a building that started the time that we were long before, when we were students here. And that is currently just about a few points away from completion. And it's important to look at the other facilities, including the one we saw, the Earth Sciences, the Earth, not health, Earth Sciences, which is also how many years old? Roughly 10 years old, and which is partly funded by the GET Fund and the Phase 2 funded by the Mineral Commission at the moment. And we are hoping that the Phase 2, which is almost complete, will be completed, and the Phase 1, which is fairly far away from completion, would also be completed, particularly because the priority is on the sciences. As far as the government's vision is concerned, then we are hoping to get government funding for these uncompleted projects as soon as possible to enable many more science students to be admitted into this university.
State enterprises have been asked to embrace and incorporate in their day-to-day operations government's huge investment in digitization to promote efficiency in service delivery and ultimately help realize the administration's ambitious agenda of Ghana Beyond Aid. to facilitate the process in that regard, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has announced government will launch a one-stop portal, that is, Ghana.gov, which will host all state enterprises. The digital platform, according to the Vice President, will provide an avenue for clients to engage and also conduct business with state enterprises without direct human contact. Dr. Bawumia, who was speaking at this year's performance contract signing ceremony in Accra, added the initiative will fight corruption in the public sector.
I'm urging all of you, because you will all be contacted, we've got to onboard everybody onto the Ghana.gov platform. We want it operational. It is going to be operational this year, and we need your cooperation, SAGA and the chairs and CEOs of all the state enterprises. We need all of your cooperation so that we can onboard you. Places like the Passport Office and DVLA and so on, it's not a problem. We've been working with all of you, but we've got to onboard everybody in this digitization agenda so that there's a one-stop shop that anybody who is going to deal with government will go to Ghana.gov, whether it's an application for electricity to their houses or whatever. They can go in there, go to the ECG portal and make the application online. Where national insurance is in the process of integrating with DVLA, the courts are ready, and all of that. So we're going to see a major transformation coming out in terms of the digitization of this country. This year, we want everybody to be very cooperative and let us get to be part of it. And that digitization, I tell you, and all of you know, it will really be very disruptive to corruption in government. Very disruptive, you know, because corruption only thrives when you go and meet somebody, right? But when you have to do it online, then asemasa. So we want the asem to sang, and so so we are going to move towards digitization.
Now moving on, we'll bring you this news that will look to be some good news to medical doctors, and the chairman of the Ghana Health Service Council, Dr. Yao Yeboah, has disclosed doctors who voluntarily accept posting to deprived areas will be given preferential treatment compared to their colleagues in the cities. He said medical doctors who willingly accept posting to deprived areas will be supported to do postgraduate courses than those in the developed cities. He said there is also a similar policy for nurses also serving in deprived communities. Dr. Yeboah made the statement when he met the Upper West Regional Minister ahead of the opening to the public the new regional Upper West Regional Hospital. Joynews Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam brings us more.
Chairman of the Ghana Health Service Council, Dr. Yao Yeboah, accompanied by the Acting Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaje, called on the Upper West Regional Minister, Dr. Hafiz Bin Sali, ahead of the official opening of the new Upper West Regional Hospital for clinical and non-clinical services. Dr. Yao Yeboah laid bare to the minister the plan being hatched by the council to attract medical doctors to deprived areas in the country.
If a young doctor or professional comes to your area, deprived area, one of the things the person will expect will be quick way of improving the person's fortunes in future in terms of training. We are going to make the gap of years that the person will be supported to go for that training between deprived area and non-deprived area so wide that if you decide to stay in Kumasi or Accra, fair enough, soon you will be supported to go and maybe do postgraduate program and come back. Besides that, we are going to have a system where nurses and other staff posted to deprived area will not be condemned to prison for life. The policy now is that if you go to a deprived area, 3 years, automatic, it will bring you to a city or a bigger town. Then your friend will go and take over 3 years. If you do it that way, the person will go with good heart.
Turning to the new Upper West Regional Hospital, Dr. Yoyebo stated that they want the best for the people of the region and will not countenance any form of breaches of the ethics from the staff who are posted there.
If staff do not perform according to the ethics of the game, no matter how beautiful, how modern the buildings and equipment are, people who go there as clients will come home having regretted for going there. And Council is working with the regional health directorate to ensure that all staff who are going to work there are given proper orientation. If after a series of orientation, some staff decide not to cooperate to ensure that quality care is given to people who come there, then the cells may show their own record and maybe exit.
Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Sali, on his part, appealed to the Ghana Health Service Council to post more doctors to the regional hospital.
The facility itself is not the issue. The health personnel, particularly medical officers, are in short supply in the region. The number that we have in the region, about 50% of that number is in school. So I want you to use your good office to ensure that many more medical officers are posted to the Upper West region.
He said the atmosphere in the region is not only peaceful, but one that embraces everybody, irrespective of one's ethnic group or religion.
For us here, we are ready and willing to work with whoever is ready to serve the Upper West region. I've said time and time again that one good thing about the people of the Upper West region is that we are not ethnocentric. And I always give a classical example. The people of this region wept when Dr. Fofie, who served this region with distinction, when he was sidelined and eventually he had to leave the region. For us, we appreciate people who regard us, but what we will not tolerate is arrogance.
Reporting for Joynews, Rafiq Salam.
But look, that's it for the latest news bulletin we have, but this is what we do. We churn out more news. It's a transitional channel that we have. More news, more content right here on the channel. Next is PM Express with Aisha Ibrahim. I tell you, you will enjoy it. Thank you for tonight.